Huh?
Can you hear her? Say something?
Yeah, she's
Can you hear
here.
me?
I can hear her just fine.
Wait, say something, Donald?
Hello?
Is she saying something? I see her mouth
Yeah,
moving, but
she
like, I
is.
don't.
She's saying something. I can hear her just fine.
Can you say test?
Test?
Say it a couple times. Keep saying it.
Test? Test?
Lean closer. Maybe it's the mic. Maybe a mic. I don't know. Like, but
Say it a
that's
couple
really.
times, Dino. Test, 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 test,
Test?
test, test, test,
Test,
test, test.
test. Jason's an idiot. Test. Clark's an
I
idiot.
really
Test,
can't
test,
hear.
test,
I
test.
can't hear. Say, can you go? Can you go? Irrit? I can't hear.
Irrit.
Fucking loser. I heard you the whole time. Hey everybody, what's going on? This is your boy Clark. We got Dino Crackers, Verus, and as usual, we're here to shoot another episode, segment, whatever you guys want to call it. Called Sometimes. Yeah. But before we get started, we want to tell everybody to make sure you go vote. And in order to do that, you got to obviously be registered. So check out Gamers.Vote. Gamers.Vote, because Gamers.Vote is that website that you need to get you registered. And once you're registered, you can go ahead and cast your vote and make sure your voice is heard. We don't care who you vote for. We just want you to vote. So I think it was like the last couple of episodes, we've been teasing, different things. I don't personally like Naruto. Dino thinks Sakura is extremely relatable, which I feel that is kind of weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
And we also realized that there's another show that or by we I mean some, and by some I mean them, they like, and that show is called Legend of Korra. So we've been teasing about doing an episode. Anyway, we've been teasing about doing an episode where we would go through, popular shows. Maybe it's unpopular that I don't personally like it. Maybe it is popular that I don't like it. We don't know, but you guys get to determine that and tell us who's wrong and who's right. So this episode is dedicated to all of that, more so specifically to Korra and the Legend of Korra. So I have a long and lengthy list.
Oh, me too. I
of
got notes.
Why this show
I got
is
notes. I didn't copy and paste like you. I wrote down notes. Feel me?
I actually wrote
Taking
these.
it back to old school times.
Whatever.
I am amazed that both
how
of
she
you
can
wrote
assume that I
notes
didn't.
on this show. We are about to go through a whole thesis on this. I feel like I'm amazed that you both have a list of why this show is so.
The question is, why don't you have a list?
Because I just think it's an okay show. I think it's good. I mean, it's not Aang, but if you can separate those two things in the way that they should be, I think it's a decent show. I think it's a good show. I mean, I'm entertained.
That's actually one of my points. I actually want you guys to go ahead and, because you guys are on the bandwagon that this is a great show. So I know I'm alone on this. So I want to give the floor to you guys, and I just want to sit back and just listen to you guys.
I will give you my opinion because I feel like I'm the most neutral here.
Go ahead. You do it.
I believe that if this show came before, The Last Airbender, I think that people would think the story of the Avatar was still very good. And I think that it would have been able to survive on its own. Now, I definitely think everybody knowing what an Avatar is because of, The Last Airbender, that helps. But I just think that these strong opinions about this show is because everyone's like, but we love Aang's story. But she's just not him. And if you can just separate those two things, I think most will say that this is a good show. I've been rewatching it, and because I know your opinion is so strong on it, I've been trying to find the real stupid stuff. But I'm going to let you educate me on all the stupidity, and I will then determine how I feel afterwards, I suppose. I'm still going to watch the whole thing again because I really want to see why you feel it's so bad. It's not Aang's story, though. And so it ain't. It's not better than The Last Airbender.
Let me ask you.
The Last Airbender is a classic.
I just want to say one thing. I just want to say
once
one
a year
thing.
for the rest of my life.
I just want to say one thing, and I'm gonna give it to you, Dino. My opinion has nothing to do with the fact that I watched the Avatar. Now back to you, Dino.
That is fine. That is fine. I'm gonna ask Ferris real quick. What's your rating? If you want to wait till the end or you want to give it now.
That's fair.
Up to you.
That's good. Let's see what your rating is. Since you're the most neutral, let's see what your rating is right now before we go into our thesis or dissertations of why this is good or bad.
I give the show like a 7. You know, I think it deserves a good 7.
Okay.
A strong is it a strong 7 or is it a flaky 7?
No, it's not flaky. I don't think it's
strong.
I don't think it's a 6.
Okay.
Because I thought about giving the show a 6, but I'm like, me personally, I think that's a little low out of 10. You know,
Do you know what my rating is?
Probably 1, but
no, it's a 4. No, it's a 4.
Oh, the way you talk about it though is
yeah,
just,
it's a 4.
A 4?
Like you just talk about the show like a polar bear dog.
4?
It's just horrible.
Okay. So first off, I'm gonna say this. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is a classic. I will agree. And I'm not necessarily saying that, Last Airbender was better than Korra. I'm not saying that.
Whoa. You said
I said I'm not saying that.
You're not saying that say the whole thing for me one more time.
I'm not saying that Legend of Korra is better than Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I had to make sure.
Yeah, because I was about to say we had to rewind that because she said Avatar.
If I said it backwards,
yeah,
because I had 1 or 2 little drinking wankies.
She throwed off.
Nah. That's don't. Hey, don't you lie to the people like that. That's fear. That is fear.
Oh, okay. Anyways, my rating is a 9. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not saying Legend of Korra is perfect. What I can say is I relate more to Legend of Korra than I do Avatar. 1, she's a female.
All right.
2, she's at that, adult age, a little bit more.
Oh God. How old is she in the show?
So she was, I believe, 17 when the first season she was supposed to, learn.
Right. When she left, she was 17. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
Now, unlike Aang, she was all for being the Avatar. She found out when she was really young. She was like, oh, look, I can bend, these 3 elements. Look at me go. Now, throughout the history of avatars, right? How long did it take each avatar in the past to learn and, each subject?
It was a couple years for every element. Aang was the only one who had to do it under extreme circumstances.
Under extreme circumstances.
From the story. There may have been another avatar that had to deal with some wild shit too, but supposedly Aang's like the only one who had to deal with something like that.
Yeah, so they're obviously
was 18 and then she was 22 by the
18?
end.
Okay.
Got it.
Just for everybody's, yeah. Okay.
Did your homework. I like it.
No, go ahead.
If you're gonna bash something, you should be well informed on it. I do not disagree with this approach.
No, I like it. I think that she was a better protagonist.
So okay.
Hey, wait, time out. So his point earlier was that if people watch Korra without watching Avatar, they will have a better opinion about it.
Now, and so far in your did do that, and he thought it was good. So,
and that's fine. But I just want to identify real quick that every point you've made so far has referenced the Avatar. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that before you continue to make your statements, because you're forcing people to compare. And I'm not sure that helps your argument, but I just want to make you aware of it.
Let me continue. Let me
do
me. Let me do me. As a character, right? Korra was unique. she didn't grow up like all the other avatars did. And in her world, the technology was different.
There's a reason.
It advanced so much. And she didn't know anything about it. She was secluded.
But see, there's a reason.
Past avatars.
Time out.
Past avatars.
Can I get in real quick, because you're kind of inconsistent in your point. You said she didn't grow up like everybody else, but she did actually grow up like everybody else, because she did not get introduced to that technology until she was 18 years old. Thus being that from the time she was an infant to the time she was 18, she had the same resources as the other waterbenders. That's all I'm saying.
They kept her at the South Pole. They kept her there. All the other avatars traveled, right? They traveled to their little Fire Nation, air nomads.
That's not true. Aang didn't travel. Aang ran away. And on top of that,
in the first Airbender, but he still was on the move.
Again,
and you're comparing them.
You're
comparing them right now.
Aang's circumstance was completely different from every.
As
far as we know, his circumstance was. There. You guys are leaving out so much information.
Hold on.
I'm just trying
no, go ahead. Go get through. No, get through. Yeah, get through.
I'm just trying to make a couple points here. That she was secluded out of the world, right? All the other avatars got to travel around. Aang got to travel around. No matter the circumstances, they got to travel around, right?
People were trying to murder him, though.
They were trying to murder him. I will,
But you don't know that though, because we don't know all the other circumstances for the other avatars though either. You don't know that.
Are Kyoshi and Roku.
Roku, yeah, you don't know that. You're assuming you're making an assumption, but go ahead.
Okay, well, moving on down my list. Moving on down my list. There are higher stakes. No one threatened, Aang's powers.
They just threatened genocide.
Yeah, I mean they were always that threat, but so did Korra.
No one was gonna die in Amon's plan. They would just not be able to bend.
I mean, I understand that part, but that was her being. That was her life. That's all she was the avatar. Real life situations that you could relate to, as far as political moralities, things that were going on, and throughout her whole, character development, she went through some stuff that was very relatable. PTSD, depression.
I mean, Aang did too. And remember that time when he had to go back to that Earth Island?
Because I don't want her to backtrack on her statements. I literally have addressed all of that.
I'm not saying, so this is the thing. I'm just telling you why I think it's a 9. It has nothing to do with really, because do you even know my rating for, Avatar: The Last Airbender?
If it's not a 10, we don't need to hear it.
It is a 10.
Okay, good.
I think it's a good show. It's a classic, you know what I mean? But Legend of Korra was just more relatable to me, and these are the reasons why. There was higher stakes. It was, she had the PTSD. So it's like, as a female, you can still go through those trifles and, those challenges in life. Aang had his challenges. He did have his challenges, but it was the same challenge the whole season. That was the whole story, was him defeating the Fire Lord. That was the end goal. Right?
I mean, I honestly feel like you're minimizing a lot, but okay, go ahead.
There were side villains and side stories, but why were those villains there? They were trying to get rid of them because Fire Nation wanted to take over.
But everybody wasn't. I
just felt like Korra's not as linear. There's not
I'll give you that.
Fair.
That is very.
Keep going to your points.
But for some shows, I just don't want it to be linear. I don't want there to be a straight route. I like each book had its own little season, had its own little challenges. And, she did get knocked down. But she got back up at the end. And that was what was for. She became a better person and a better avatar going through what she went through. She had different challenges than Aang. I'll give her that. But it was just a different era. Aang was trying to build something. There was more there. We didn't get to see Aang grow up. we wish we had, and what Korra gave us.
So I feel like you're. Go ahead.
Korra
But
gave
Aang out
us.
of the iceberg and Aang after fighting the Fire Lord. You. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Let her get through a point.
No, like he had his own
Go ahead.
development. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that Legend of Korra was better than Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Fair.
I just believe that Legend of Korra was a good show.
That's fine, and we want to hear your points.
Overall, there are some flaws in the storyline because of the development and the route they had to go. I will give it that. There are some things they did that just, they changed later on. But the fact of the matter is, during that time when Korra was released, it's not like today's where they didn't really touch on, LGBT or Q or you know what I mean? Like there was elements that were real world that we could relate to, just like the PTSD, just like the depression. Like yeah, we saw Aang go through stuff as a kid. We did. But there was no hard female characters at the time. At the time, there was some that up color.
Oh, man.
Some.
Fuck Katara.
Yes.
That's all I heard just
Korra,
now.
but she.
Fuck Katara and everything she said.
Don't even get me on Katara. She was the mother figure. She had it all figured out.
Hey, we're
what I'm hearing right now.
Hey, is there more, Dino?
Please just keep going.
I just think Korra was a more flawed, complex character, and there was more building upon that throughout the series. She wasn't perfect.
Okay.
She was not. Aang wasn't perfect either, but she wasn't perfect, and they built on that.
Oh God.
No. Let me tell you, Dino, something. Suki is a badass. She was locked in a prison with a bunch of dudes, and while they were all standing around fighting, trying to figure out what they were going to do, she climbed a wall.
But we didn't get to see a lot of Suki.
And took.
We didn't even get to see a lot of Suki.
Where to start? I would first like to open up by pointing out that the show even recognizes what they've done. There is one point in book 3 where Korra meets up with Toph, and Toph says multiple times, "You are the worst avatar ever."
Yeah, she was dragging her ass.
That was the show telling you, to the audience, that she is the worst avatar ever. And let I add.
So I actually do agree with that statement, though. I do think she is a terrible avatar.
So let me add to this. Usually in shows, when something like that happens, there's like a moment in time where someone's like, "You're the best," or "You're this," you're to kind of show the growth. They never addressed it. So
wait.
I just want to open up by letting the audience know that we can all agree that Korra is the worst avatar ever, because the show says so. The show told us. They literally told us this.
And I never said she was the best avatar.
I know. I'm not saying you did, but I just want to open up so that way we can just go ahead and get that out the way.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So there's 4 books, but there is really only one arc that is actually worth watching. And that is book 1. And the reason why I say that is because everything after book 1 is a result of Korra. Korra caused book 2, book 3, and book 4. So when you look at that and you think back to this journey, because you said she's more linear and you said that she has all these different bosses, but it's like, to me, you created these bosses. So since you compared Aang to Korra's journey,
Aang, for the record, helped create the airships too. So there is that.
Hold up.
Was it really Aang, or was it his counterpart?
It was more so Sokka, but anyway, go ahead. Go ahead. Dang it.
The Fire Nation was attacking. They were going to kill the Airbenders until they found the Avatar, no matter what. That was not something
and they started moving on to the Waterbenders.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, what the point, you're helping me make my point, and I appreciate you for that. Because what I'm getting at is that though the Fire Lord was the bad guy, and Aang had a journey and development to get to that point to where he could fight that guy, that was worthy of going on that journey from the first episode to the last episode, because everything in between was about that journey. There was no journey for Korra because she literally caused book 2. She caused book 3. Listen, look, do you remember who the are you saying she did not cause them?
She caused it, but it's still a journey that she had to.
That's like saying that 3. That's like a crackhead being like, oh, well, I still went on my journey. Guess what? I'm still addicted to crack. Like, you caused that.
But that was the whole point. Is that at the end she realized, her flaws. She realized that, she messed up. She's not perfect.
Wait a minute. No.
She did not.
Book 3, if I remember correctly, is when the Airbenders show up.
Yep. Caused by her.
But no, that was gonna happen regardless because of harmonic convergence.
Nope. We don't know that. We don't know that.
But
because they blamed it. No. They blamed it on
the Firebenders killing all the Airbenders first.
No. They blamed it on her opening the portals. By me opening the portals during harmonic conversion, that's what brought back the Airbenders. They tried to clean it up. Look, man, you gotta. When you pay attention to the shows, you find the shows realize,
looking at the positives. There's always there's some positive out of what she did. Now there was some negative, just like in life.
Listen.
She opened those can of worms, being the portal. She thought she was doing something good. There were some results of that weren't good. There were Airbenders. Aang would have been like, look at all these Airbenders that started, that he can train. And that's why Tenzin was so excited and wanted his dad, to see this, look at where we are now, right? Negative side, some of those Airbenders were not good. Case in point, your next
so
villain.
let me just, I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. The amount of people that were killed directly because of Korra's actions, you're saying that it's okay. And that it's good because there's like 10 Airbenders.
You're definitely short selling how many there were, but
I counted them.
That they showed, bro. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What they show. I'm saying what they show. What we know. That's what we know for a fact.
Yeah, but
that's all I'm getting at.
It's implied.
We hope. Nope. We hope. Hope there's more.
It is implied. And
so
again,
what I'm saying
it's also implied that the Airbenders. So her opening. Again, I am still in the first season, but I'm watching it again. If I remember correctly, had she not opened the portals, harmonic convergence was still going to happen.
Yeah, but nothing would have happened. Nothing
would
have happened.
How do you know that?
The evil spirit. The evil spirit, because they blamed it on her opening the portals.
I literally remember that.
I mean, that's what they said.
You can blame anybody for anything.
But this is the art of storytelling, right? So if the story is telling you that they're blaming it on her opening the portals,
someone else
then nothing happens. No, how? The Avatar has to open them. What are you talking about?
What was the enemy? He took over. The evil spirit took over him. Right?
Because he had to open the port. She had to open the portals for him to be released. And once he was released, he went in and took over Unalaq's body, who then became the Dark Avatar. Which, oh my goodness, you know what? Let's not go down this route because the way that she beat him was completely stupid. Because then you can essentially say you don't need an Avatar to beat Unalaq because all she did was go and find her internal self, which I'm like, anyone can do that. And by the way, book 2 and book 3 should have, everyone's saying like, oh, Korra, we're so proud of you, when they should be saying, Jinora, we're so proud of you, because Jinora is the reason why they won in book 2 and book 3 to begin with.
Now, 3 for sure. Yeah.
I will agree that she played a big part, but so did
A
everyone
big
else in
part?
defeating the Fire Lord.
A big
Teamwork.
part? That's not teamwork. All right. Anyway, I don't want to even get into that because I can rip that for I. Anyway, the story says it. The story says, oh, because of the spirit world, blah 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 blah. We created airbenders. Had she not opened it, there would have never been any airbenders. We can't even say that's a bad thing because it seemed like the world was moving on, just hunky dory. Aang died. Korra was 18. Seemed like there weren't any problems.
Oh my god!
And then Korra gets involved.
Sound right now. You know how crazy you sound.
Right. So say that
I'm not even gonna
No.
make the reference on
No.
the show,
I'm
but
arguing
gonna
the
tell you
logic
what
of
it
the.
sounds-
But
I'm gonna tell you what it sounded like later on.
What I'm saying is essentially is that what I'm essentially saying is that the story is supposed to be, this is them telling the story, right? So you guys can compare avatars to avatars. I'm not even doing that. I am simply arguing from the premise of poor writing. If you say that the avatar here is here to bring balance, if you say that everything is about balance in this world, and yet Aang can go from being 12 years old to being 60 something and dying, well, whatever 72 minus 18 is, because that's what age Aang died at. So if we can go that long without having airbenders, seems to me that the world was in, he did his job. He kept it in balance. So now we're going to sit here and make the argument that, well, we're going to cause a
that's just like
worldwide
saying,
catastrophe.
that's like saying that there shouldn't be any bending to put balance in perspective.
Let me
No,
jump
that's
into
not
what
the
you're
same
saying.
That is because the original story of the Avatar was what? They borrowed their bending from the great turtles because they were trying to fight the spirit world.
And again, let me jump in here because I do have a problem with this, and I had a problem with it the first time, and you're reminding me why I had a problem with it. Here was the issue that I had. All of this backstory about the Avatar and the spirit world that we got in Korra. Why didn't the White Lotus know any of this? Why didn't the Fire Sages know? Why didn't somebody like the Dai Li know? Why wasn't this in Wan Chi Tong's library? Yep. I'm just saying that
matters. That stuff matters.
I did think that was a little like.
That's why I personally don't like the show. When you sit here and you just
if Korra would have come first, and then the rest of that would have come, it still doesn't fit because again, you learn
it doesn't fit. It still doesn't fit. That's why I said it doesn't matter for me. It's poor writing all the way around. And then on top of that, on book 2, when Jinora came out of, listen, they find Jinora in this like the fog of like the lost souls. They're about to take her back home. She goes, wait, Korra's in trouble, and she takes off. Then she comes back as Korra's about to get beat up in her big astral spirit self, and comes down with this huge like golden light that we don't know what it does, but it does enough to weaken Unalaq. And then she randomly pulls out Rava, who's the light spirit, which happened to have been killed, but is inside of Unalaq. Yeah, so then she takes her back.
You can't really kill him, just like you can't really kill evil.
Listen.
There's always a little good.
Listen, you are the fan that they hope for, and that's not a good.
You're explaining this shit away. Don't do it.
Because because it makes you look bad.
Listen. I will agree with you. Some of the writing is bad. However,
some of it. I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. Again, I haven't even got. Hold up.
I tend to believe that a good portion of this can fit if Korra came first, and then they said, "Let me give you some backstory on this."
Does it?
And here's why. Because there is, through the entirety of Last Airbender, there is one person who alludes to knowing a lot about the spirit world, and then towards the end in the last season, when Zuko and Aang go to learn firebending from the temple, you kind of see these two things intertwine. Iroh was always extremely in tune with the spirit world. People knew about it. People knew that he had gone before because in the first season, oh, what was his name? Zhao mentioned it.
Okay, that's
So
cool and all. But
so
let me ask you this though.
all
Can I
of
ask
it
you a question then?
wasn't just like thrown in there,
Can I ask you a
but it
question?
was not very well written. No.
Can I ask you a question then?
Go ahead.
Why is it that when the light spirit comes back, right? So when Unalaq is destroying the light spirit and he's whipping it like it's some damn runaway slave,
I
each she's
hated everything
That's
about
not funny.
that.
That is
see
not
It was
funny.
listen.
That is
She
not
what kept happening? She kept losing avatar spirits, past lives, correct? So then she lost the past lives because Rava was gone. That is what the story told us. They tell us Rava is no longer here. She is gone. I have lost my ability to interact with my past lives.
Mhm.
So then one can surmise that if Rava's not really gone and you get her back, you should get your past lives back. But you don't. So is that another Rava? Is that a new, like, what the hell? Poor writing. That has nothing to do with Korra coming first, Avatar ain't coming first, whatever. You can flip flop the orders, but that still doesn't make sense.
I didn't like the losing contact with your past lives thing because I was just like that. Um,
And
again,
then that's something that Korra caused. Look, we spent probably I don't know how much time talking about just book 2. Let's get to book 3 because book 3 was when she got the PTSD, right? Because the airbender, the one cat, he got his airbending. His first and foremost, his initiative and his motives were completely stupid. I want to kill the avatar so that way there's no need for an avatar. Like
stupid.
what? That
Yeah, it
doesn't
was
even make
stupid.
sense. Like what was your end goal? So
you didn't had no bending before. Now you're just like, yeah, that was random as hell too.
right. So we can go ahead and say
I'll
boo
give
to
you
the
that
to
book
book
four
3.
is book 4. I can't remember her name.
Please, I hate book 4 so much.
Really,
Please say what you're gonna say about book 4 because
I
I
thought
got
I thought the conflict between the two of them was fairly interesting, but I think I just like the other chick as a villain. I think that's really all it was.
I'll give you that. She was a good villain.
Yeah,
However, she was
I
also
think that was
caused by
all.
Korra too. And the reason
Yep.
why she was caused by Korra is because of book 3. Why was that because of book 3? Because in book 3, Korra got the Earth Queen of Ball Sensei killed. Guess who decided to take up power? What's that girl's name again? Kavira. Kavira ended up stepping in, taking over, trying to run shit. And then we fight a giant mecha.
I didn't like that either. That
What?
was stupid too.
So the mecha was kind of
What?
thrown out there. I can give you that one. That was kind of random.
What?
That was
Like
just,
you're a metal vendor and you're gonna do this. You're gonna go Gundam on me. Like, yeah, that was stupid too. But I understood
what?
why they did it because it plays into not Asami's father. Remember, he did it first, and so it's like we're gonna expand on that. Not that it was a good idea, just saying I understand where the idea came from.
like I said,
Yeah.
there are flaws.
She calls
There are
everything. I
plenty
just
of
want to say
flaws.
she calls book 2, 3, 4. Honestly, if you take Korra out, the world was probably in a better place.
Mm,
I also don't
Probably
particularly
in a
agree with
better
that,
place. If you
but
take Korra out,
that speaks to how terrible of an avatar she was.
that's what I'm getting at.
Like,
So you mean to tell me that in this journey of avatars, right, everything was caused by her? And the one thing that I hated the most about this show is how after every conflict, they would come back, mainly Tenzin. Well, everybody coddled her. I hated the coddling.
they did do
Not a
that a
fan
lot
of that.
too, and no
But
one did that for Aang
no,
except for
and
Katara,
then
and even she. Well, yeah,
yeah, and then on top of that, they also say, "Well, you defeated Unalaq. You defeated what was that Airbender's name? I can't remember, but you defeated him." I'm like, no, she didn't. Janora defeated Unalaq. Janora defeated that airbending dude because she's the one who got the airbenders together and said, "Hey guys, we're stronger as a pack than individuals," and did this whole big old tornado that saved Korra's life, and then and slammed him down to the ground because Korra was over here bent, all broken up because she had mercury all running through her blood. Because after book 3, that's when Janora ended up getting her little tattoos, and they made it a big running joke with the little airbender boy saying, "Oh, I want tats, I want tats." So that being said, Korra's a 4. And unless you guys, to me, that's my rating. If you, which would, I think that would equate to what, like 1 pocket protector, 2. It's like 2.5 pocket. Nah, 1.5 pocket protectors. But if you guys would like to, I guess, tell the public why it was a 9, which is fucking stupid.
So listen.
Then by all
You
means,
make some valid points. You make some
By
very
all
valid points. This is what I'm gonna do with you. This is what I'm gonna do with this thing, right? My final rating, I give it an 8. I give it an 8. Because yes, she
Not to
was
mention
flawed.
the stupid love triangle. Mako likes or Bolin likes Korra.
I didn't
Mako.
I didn't
You
like
can't even
I
say
didn't
that
like that
because
either.
honestly,
I didn't like that either, but
and
I understood why they did it the way
people
they
might
did.
get mad at this statement, but Katara should have never have been with Aang.
No, a lot of people feel that way. She should have been with Zuko.
Let me say this too.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me add this too. The whole thing with Korra and Asami was completely forced.
It really was. That's why I didn't like it. Because to be honest with you, I think they could have done that, started doing that from the first season. They could have still had her. They could have still had her love interest with Mako.
But you know why they didn't? Why they didn't? Because it was a Nickelodeon show, and they were afraid to.
They shouldn't have did it at all then. Like, don't force.
They shouldn't have did it at all then.
Because
yet another reason why this is what I'm getting at though. There's a lot of things I haven't even like really hit everything that I identified, but there's a lot of things in this show that they force into the show that doesn't make sense. And because of that, just because you can appreciate the lore of airbending, waterbending, firebending, earthbending, you can appreciate the lore of like just like the Avatar universe, the spirits. You could even like the characters of, you know, Zuko. And by the way, the freaking guy who they borrowed Zuko's voice for, they benched him. So what was the point of bringing back Zuko's voice? But anyway, you can like the side characters. That's cool. You can do that. But that doesn't change the fact that this is not a good show. Like, I personally am a fan of Deadshot and Suicide Squad. I thought Will Smith did a great job as Deadshot. I like Harley Quinn.
That movie was terrible.
Harley Quinn was really good, but the movie was bad. Like, it is what it is. It's a bad show. It's not a good show. It's a bad show.
And see, I don't particularly feel that way. So I think your gripes, to be honest with you, I agree with all of them. But every single one of them always comes at the end of the season. It's a good show.
Except for the whole that she created the next 3 books. And you can make the statement. Like, if you put Avatar Roku, because like I said, it's not even about the fact that it's Korra versus Aang for me. If you put Roku there, because Roku was supposed to be this wise guy. Again, the storytelling is telling me this. I'm not assuming this. She's
also a bad Avatar though, bro, and I do not.
I get that, but that's the point I'm making though. But that's the point I'm making though. If you switch her out with any other Avatar, do we still have the same issues?
Probably not. Probably not.
So the other point that I'll make then is that when it comes to strong female characters, because this is my biggest gripe, you say she's relatable, Donald, because you're a female, you can relate to her.
And there were less strong female characters in this show than there were in Last Airbender, if you ask me. Right. But go ahead.
Well, what I'm going to say about Korra is that she is not a strong female character. And the same gripes I have about Wonder Woman, which everybody thinks Wonder Woman is a great movie, and I'm not going to say it's a bad movie, but I don't think you need a Chris Pine to be your love interest. You are a badass, own your badassness, and do your thing.
That was my thing about the Asami thing at the end. I really want to address this because it bothered the shit out of me because I really felt like, why would you throw this in? In my personal opinion, I think it would have been so much better and so much more. If you wanted to go that angle, it would have been so much more. Like you said, she's relatable, right, Dino? I think you could have made that so much more relatable if they would have gone through that right out of the gate in the first season. She still have Mako as a love interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
But through Mako and meeting Asami, it kind of turns into something else, and she starts feeling like, oh, well, maybe this isn't really what I want. I'm not sure. And then in the second season, you can explore that more. And then open it up for real in the third season. And really, like, they could have done, if you wanted to do that,
I agree. They could have done
so
that.
much more with it,
There's
and
better
you
ways
wasted
to do
the
it.
opportunity to
Absolutely,
force it.
there is better ways to do
Yeah,
it.
I didn't.
But you know why? The biggest reason why I give it an 8, because it makes Avatar: The Last Airbender even better.
I think Avatar: The Last Airbender is actually an 8.
What is a 10 for you?
Yeah, what is a 10? That is a good. That is a very. I like that. That's a good question. What's your 10?
Well, I think we should rate
He said
the
myself.
show real quick. So let's rate it real quick. Final ratings, unless you got last comments. I'm gonna answer your question after we rate this.
Like I said,
Final comment? You're gonna okay, go ahead.
Yes. Legend of Korra makes Avatar: The Last Airbender even better. And that's one of the reasons why I like it. Pocket protectors? Okay. Let's go pocket protectors, right? I give it a 3.
Okay.
60. Actually, a 3.5. I don't know if you want to do halfies.
We don't do halves. We don't do halves on this show.
3.
We commit to our decisions.
3.
Okay. What about you?
I think you gave it a half earlier.
Right? You did, so but
check the tape on that, Ryan.
No, that's what I'm saying. No. I did, but that's not my final rating. We're gonna give it a final rating here.
Well, I'm gonna give it a 3. I thought it was good. Okay. I think it's like there's some stupid stuff in it. A lot of shows have stupid stuff in it. I think Avatar was very fortunate to have very little stupid stuff in there. Well, at least Last Airbender was. I mean, but like I said, I give it a 3.
So Dino, just so you're aware of your rating, 3 out of 5 is a 60.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 out of 10 is a 6 then.
Okay.
Is that what you're? No, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to make sure for the people, for clarity, what is your rating? Yeah. You're going with it.
I still say, because we can't do happy, so I still stand with the 3.
Okay, so if we did this as a 1 out of 10, then it's a 6, which means it's slightly above average in your book.
I think I would agree with that.
Okay, because earlier you said an 8. All right.
Listen.
No, too late.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there, because I told you from the beginning how I felt, right? Now you make some very valid points. Now if we're comparing the show as a whole, right? I would still give it a 3.
Okay, fair enough. And you're good with it being a 3 out of 5 too, right, Robinson?
I am. I don't. I think it's okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I am a 2 out of 5.
You're not that far under us.
Right.
No, I told you guys. I thought it was a 40. A 4 out of 10. I've been consistent.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like I said, you made some very valid points. I will give you that. And there are a lot of problems with storyline and the development that may or may not have been a reflection on the time it has been released and what they were going through, right? As a development.
I also believe
show.
I also believe they were forced to push this shit out too. After the first season.
Listen, man.
Hurry up. I don't know. I'm not trying to make a bunch of excuses either. Because, I mean, there's another show that I refuse to even name because of how stupid it ended. So,
So you asked me what is a 10.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me that.
Immediately what comes to mind when you ask me what is a 10, the Yu Yu Hakusho. That is a 10 to me.
Is it really?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No bullshit though.
There's a lot of character development, and honestly, for it to be made in the 80s, I think it was made in the 80s. I can still watch that show in 2020 from start to finish and have no
You want to
gripe.
hear something? I did watch it in the 2010s. Like
Me
2 years
too.
ago.
Yeah,
Like 2
same
years
here.
ago, I watched it all
Same
over
here.
again, so.
Same here. Same here. Same here.
Yeah, it's
All right, so
it's so good. So good.
I'm seeing a window. You're opening up your curtains. I see it. I can see through it a little bit.
Whatever.
So
It's not hard.
let me
Just
ask
give
you,
a good show with good
let's-
writing.
because we can definitely dig into a Yu Yu Hakusho conversation, but I'd like to hear briefly, why do you feel that way?
So I think that they don't have. So I think a lot of the humor isn't slapstick. So the humor aged well with the show. I think the action was. I mean, like obviously, there's like shows like Stay Fate who have like phenomenal action scenes. I don't know if you guys have seen
It's
like a limited
slow
play
in Yu
works.
Yu Hakusho. The action it's good, but it's actually
Right.
very slow.
Right,
It's
but I
actually
think
very slow.
I think, or at least I like to think, because I have no idea, but I like to think that when they came out with this show and they were doing the action, I think they knew, or at least had the, they were forward thinking and saying, hey, this isn't gonna age well, so let's make it to where you know that there's action, and we do things with like the composition to make it seem like it's moving a lot faster than what it is. So the composition was good for me, the writing was good, the characters are memorable, and the deaths are impactful. The only gripe I have with it, and this is why I mean, like,
I think I know what you're
when
gonna
I
say,
think
but go ahead.
when I think of a 10, I do think of Yu Yu Hakusho, but if I'm being honest, I probably would give it a 9. But the death of
Genkai.
yes,
And then they
shouldn't
brought
have
her
brought
back.
it back.
I
They
thought that
shouldn't
was
have
so
brought it back.
stupid. I was like, why'd
Yeah,
you bring her
they
back?
shouldn't have
It
brought
was
it back.
you like it for a second, but then after a while it's like
Why?
you took that emotion away from Yusuke.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really like that, because you could see when you realized that she was the only person he ever really cared about besides his girlfriend. I can't remember. Keiko. When you realize like she's the only person he really cared about, like, because his mother was a piece of shit, and like it. Yeah, I didn't understand.
But other than that, that's my only gripe with it. But
didn't really understand that.
we can do a dive in that. But hey, Dino's a 3 out of 5. You're a 3 out of 5. I am a 2 out of 5. Would I recommend to somebody to watch Legend of Korra? Absolutely. Will I talk highly of it? Probably not. But I'll say it's still worth the watch. I like Suicide Squad. I don't think it's the greatest movie, but I'll still tell people if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it.
I like Suicide Squad too, up until like they leave the bar. Once they leave the bar, like, this is stupid.
Yeah. So
actually,
I mean,
when they brought Enchantress in, that was so.
You see
why did they just
see the new Suicide Squad 2? They leaked some of their stuff.
We should talk about DC fandom on our next episode and everything that's coming out. Yeah. We should definitely do that.
You know what? Before we, move on, I just want to let the viewers know, if you play Animal Crossing, my island, if you want to come to
6. So barely above average.
Avatar Korra inspired. So not just Legend of Korra, Avatar. There's a little Korra sprinkled in there.
Drop your friend code so they can send you a request.
Also, too, I think that means that her island is like slightly above average then. Only because she didn't just say Legend of Korra.
No, I'm almost done with it. And when I'm done with it, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a new theme.
Like?
Probably not original, but go ahead.
What do you say?
I say it probably won't be original.
Whoa. You mean like tear down the existing one?
I'm not going to tear it down completely, but I am going to redesign my island.
I wish I had this kind of time to play Animal Crossing.
I want to give, because you and I have had the floor, I want to give the final thoughts and words to Verus. And Verus, you can take us on out.
I'm going to take us out, and I want to just drop a little tidbit here. PlayStation 5, you can enter to be the first to pre-order. You too can enter to be the first to pre-order because you have PlayStation IDs.
I don't. So if anyone out there wants to give me a PlayStation ID so that I can register to pre-order my PlayStation 5, I want to convert. Bring me over. Bring me over. If anyone's got one.
Is that why you didn't send us that link?
Yeah. All right. Like, listen, I got on the website this morning and I saw this and I was like, this is wrong.
No, it's not. We're loyal.
I would be loyal too if they let me in.
How's that being loyal?
What do you think I'm gonna go buy a PlayStation 4 and make a PlayStation ID to do?
Do I need to send you my PlayStation 3?
No, because you're interrupting him as he has the last and final thoughts. Let that man get through his stuff.
Hey, you know what?
Continue.
I had a PSP. I might have one. But if anyone has an extra one that they'd be willing to give up, just in case I don't have one, I'll take it. But with that being said, I want to remind everybody to go and vote and go register to vote. And if you want to register to vote, you can head on over to Gamers.Vote and register there. The election is coming up, but not just this election. There'll be many more elections after this. So we all want to
absolutely.
We want to participate in the political process in this country that we love so much. So get out there, register to vote, make your voice.
Well done. Well done. Well, with that, we want to thank the audience for watching. And hey, I think next time we can do Naruto. Let's peel back that onion, right? Tell us in the comments what you guys think. If we did a good job, if we missed anything, maybe you agree with me, maybe you agree with Dino. I don't know. We do care though, so let us know. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and make sure you like the button, like us, subscribe, and buy some merch if you want to look like us. I mean, you can't talk like us, but you can at least try and look like us. Nice hat, cool shirt, cool jersey. But other than that, thank you guys for watching this sometimes, and we'll catch you guys later. All right, bye guys.